All right.
So, you want to talk about Hollywood?
Man, this Ice Cube situation is wild. It's like we all kind of knew something was up, right? But hearing it laid out so plainly, it's different. He's not just whispering rumors. He's pointing fingers, naming names, and it ain't pretty. The Diddy stuff is obviously the catalyst here. All that craziness unfolding, it's opened the door for people to start talking. And Cube? He's never been one to bite his tongue anyway. He's been dropping bombs about how the whole system works, and it's got people rattled. Look, we all know Hollywood's not some innocent playground, but the level of control he's talking about, the gatekeepers, the blacklisting, the rituals, it's some next-level stuff. He's saying if you don't play ball, they'll make you disappear. Not literally, maybe, but your career gone. Your reputation smeared. Campaigns launched. And he's got receipts, kind of. His own experience is a big one. Think about it, Ice Cube. Dude's a legend. Rapper, actor, director, producer. He's done it all. But he says he couldn't get on The View. Oprah wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. That just doesn't add up. He calls it punishment for not being part of the get-along gang, for not being willing to just shut up and do what he's told. And you know what? That rings true, 'cause Cube's always been his own man. He's never been afraid to speak his mind, even if it pisses people off. And it clearly does piss people off. He talks about these shadowy figures, these gatekeepers who decide who gets to shine and who gets thrown in the trash. And it's not about talent, he says. It's about control, about towing the line. He even mentioned Kelly Clarkson. Remember that clip where she basically said people can buy you out with millions of dollars? Cube says he's been offered the same thing, to do stuff he didn't want to do. And when you say no, that's when the trouble starts. That's why he's launching this Gatekeepers podcast tour. He's trying to bypass the mainstream media entirely and go straight to the people because he knows the system is rigged. He knows they're not going to give him a fair shake. And then there's Oprah. Man, that's a whole other can of worms. I mean, she's Oprah, right? She's supposed to be this beacon of light, this champion of the people. But lately, there's been a lot of noise. Taraji P. Henson talking about not getting paid fairly for The Color Purple. 50 Cent going after her for targeting black men. And Monique claiming Oprah blackballed her after her Oscar win. It's a lot to unpack. And the Monique situation is particularly messed up. The arranged brother stuff, bringing that on air without her consent, that's low. And don't even get me started on the allegations at her South African school. Abuse, misconduct, and then the whole thing just kind of disappears from the headlines. Convenient, huh? And then you've got Cube making his own controversial moves. The vaccine thing. Teaming up with Tucker Carlson. He's not making friends on either side of the aisle. But that's kind of his point, isn't it? He refuses to be put in a box. He refuses to be controlled. Even the stuff he said about gender identity, I mean, it ruffled some feathers for sure. But at the end of the day, he's just speaking his mind. He's pushing buttons. He's challenging the narrative, and that's what they can't stand. But the craziest thing? Cube showing up in Diddy's courtroom. Like, what? You can't make this stuff up. It wasn't just some random photo op. He was there to make a statement, to say, I know what's going on, and I'm not afraid to talk about it. He's basically saying that the same system that builds you up can tear you down in a heartbeat. That if you step out of line, they'll make an example of you. And it's not just about losing movie roles. It's about controlling the narrative, controlling public perception, controlling who gets to have a voice. And that brings us to Jamie Foxx. Man, that whole situation is just weird. He was on top of the world, Oscar winner, comedy god, could sing his ass off. Then all of a sudden he's gone. Vanished. Cube is suggesting that Foxx got sideways with Diddy and his crew. Tried to distance himself. And that's when things started to go south. Meetings canceled. Projects reassigned. Opportunities disappearing. It wasn't about talent. It was about loyalty. And then the medical emergency on the Netflix set. Cube is basically calling it out. He's saying it was a calculated move to silence Foxx, to isolate him, to make him disappear without anyone asking too many questions. Think about it. A major star just vanishes from a set, and nobody knows what's really going on. No real explanation. That's not normal. Especially in Hollywood, where everything leaks, The phone call Cube is hinting at feels important. He's suggesting that Fox got a call from someone powerful, someone who could make or break his career, someone who told him to shut up and fall in line. And these Hollywood parties? Cube says they're not just fun and games. They're strategic setups. Phones confiscated, hidden cameras, everyone being watched. It's like a pressure cooker where they can see who's willing to play the game and who isn't. So Cube is laying it all out there. He's saying that Hollywood is a system designed to control, manipulate, and silence anyone who doesn't play by the rules. And the question is, do you believe him? Look, I'm not saying every single detail is true, but the patterns are there. The way people's careers mysteriously tank, the way